Hey SD fans, welcome back. And for those here for the first time, my name's Mark, I'm the Editor-in-Chief of the Scuba Diver media brand, and welcome to the Scuba Diver YouTube channel. Now, all divers love shiny new equipment, and every year there are one or two products heading to market that really get people excited, and the Garmin Descent MK2i dive computer is undoubtedly one of them. Now, we did a short video review on the day the Descent MK2i was released, giving a brief overview of its features and gauging how it matched up against its main rivals of the Shearwater Terric, Scuba Pro A2 and the Suntow D10. But then we got our hands on one, and after diving it hard during a week in the Maldives, I wanted to give you our findings on what it was like to dive with. First off, I have to say, this is a good looking piece of kit. It's a fairly chunky size, but thanks to the titanium build, it's quite lightweight. I never actually dived the Mark I Descent, but after seeing them on the wrists of other divers, and at various dive shows, I wasn't particularly taken with it, I have to say. The screen seemed quite small in the body, and I just didn't like the look of it. That all changes with the MK2i. Garmin have really nailed the aesthetics this time around, and the display is much bigger and clearer. Seems to fit the size of the watch. Since having the MK2i on my wrist, it's garnered lots of positive comments from divers and non-divers alike. So that is a big thumbs up for Garmin. Talking of the screen, I've left it on the default watch setting, as I find it nice and clean. But there are a whole host of different versions already on the MK2i for those who want to personalise their computer, and more can be downloaded. A neat feature for those who want to stand out from the crowd. Right, let's talk diving. Now, to get into the diving menu is simplicity itself. You just press the top right hand button and it brings you onto the screen where you can select the type of diving you're going to be doing. So I have a single gas, multi-gas, closed circuit rebreather, gauge mode, apnea hunt for the Spearos out there. There's even a dive planning mode. Now, I only used it in single gas mode for my week in the Maldives, so let's focus on that. Another press of the top right hand button gets you onto the screen where you can see what your nitrox mix is, what your maximum operating depth is, and what level of conservatism you have it set on. You can also see your surface interval. If you need to edit your gas mix or conservatism level, you just need to press the bottom left button and it takes you to a screen where you can go in and change these. At any time, once you are done, pressing the bottom right hand button takes you back to a screen. From that first dive screen, another press of the right hand button takes you to a screen where you can see whether you've got it set for salt or fresh water and what the safety stop timer is. Again, to edit, you just press the bottom left hand button. A third press of the right hand button takes you to the dive screen itself. I found this nice and clear and easy to understand during the dive. You can clearly see the nitrox mix, the water temperature, your NDL, current depth and your dive time. The display up the left hand side of the screen goes from green through orange to red, and the hand rises as the NDL gets nearer to zero. So as well as the actual digital display, you get this handy visual graphic as well. The display on the right hand side of the screen is rather neat. If you're hovering motionless, this hand remains at the 3 o'clock position, and if you start to ascend, it goes up. You go up too quickly, it warns you with orange, and then goes into red, and the entire screen alerts you to the fact you're ascending too quickly. So, a rapid ascent warning. Nothing new there. But what I liked was the fact the hand can go the other way to show when you are descending. This may seem pointless to some people, but I can imagine this being very useful if you're out in the blue looking for sharks, for instance, with no point of reference. If you're at this stage and you need to change your gas mix, you can do this by pressing the top right hand button and it takes you to the gas select screen. As changing your gas mix is probably the most regular thing you'll ever be doing, this makes it quick and easy to do. When you enter the water, the MK2i vibrates to let you know it's logged your position on the GPS, and a big green arrow pops up on screen just to confirm you're starting diving. When you surface, it vibrates again to let you know it's finishing the dive and logging your position once again. One feature I liked here was that when you initially surface, it states on the screen the dive will end in 20 seconds, This is useful if you got lost, become separated from your buddy, and were just popping your head up to confirm your location, find your buddy, and then descending to continue the dive. As long as you do it in this 20-second window, you remain on the one dive. After diving, when you want to look at your logbook, you just press the bottom left-hand button, and the first thing on the screen is the dive log. Top right-hand button press, and you're into the log. On this first screen, it gives you the time, depth, and water temp of your last dive, and the scroll down goes back dive by dive. Further right-hand press, and after a quick loading screen, you get more details, including a graph of your profile alongside the time, depth, and water temp. This screen also appears on a MK2i when you first get out of the water and back on your boat or dry land. Scroll down with the left-hand button, you can get all the stats for your dive. This includes time in and out, average depth, etc. You can also click on the map function, and this will show you your entry and exit points. You also get the opportunity to save the location, so if you've done an awesome dive, you can log the position, which is pretty damn cool. At this point, you can also get a more detailed graph of your temperature and your depth profile and any gas switches. I was diving on 32% nitrox all week and had the Garmin set to low conservatism. It was used alongside my Shearwater Perdix and Terric, and the NDL was very close throughout the entire week on all the dives. All three use the tried and tested Muehlmann ZHL 16C algorithm, so you'd expect that to be the case. The Terric. As we said in our previous video, and earlier in this one, the Descent MK2i goes up against various other wristwatch style dive computers, but it seems to be most often compared with the Terric. So how do we think it stacks up against the competition? Well, let's talk diving first. Both the Terric and the Descent, both are capable dive computers. Do multiple gas mixes, CCR, free dive and more. So when it comes down to the diving side of things, there's not a massive amount in it functionality wise. Yes, the Garmin's got the GPS function, but actual diving is a pretty even match in my opinion. Both have audible and vibration notification, and in both cases the latter works very well. I can feel it through a 3mm wetsuit with no problems. I have yet to dive the Garmin in my dry suit, but I can feel the Terric through my suit and presume the Descent will be much the same. While we're talking dry suits, the Garmin has a neat feature where you can swap out the straps quickly and easily with a clip system. This lets you change to different colours if you wish, but it also means you can change out the standard strap for this longer version designed to go over a dry suited arm, much neater than adding an extension strap to the existing strap. Both are air integrated, and this is where the Garmin might steal a march over the Terric, as its innovative subwave technology has a range of more than triple that of the Shearwater. But as we didn't have a transmitter to test this ourselves, I'm not going to make any comment. We'll revisit that once we have a transmitter, which are due out by the end of the year. One thing I have seen commented on online is the screen of the Descent MK2i, and some people saying it's hard to read. Frankly, that's a load of rubbish. Topside, I found I could read the display even when the backlight was not on, but once it was on, it's very easy to see. While diving, I had the backlight set for on all the time, and it made the screen nice and clear, even in bright sunlight, in the shallows, during a safety stop. I didn't really notice a massive difference in brightness once I took it over 60 to 70%, I have to say, but suffice to say, you can easily see the display either in watch mode or while on a dive. We did a fluo night dive while we're in the Maldives, and the Descent was clearly legible, even in the pitch black with the backlight on full. One feature I did like was the ability to set the backlight to come on with activity. So if I was sat in the bar, turn my wrist to look at the screen, for example, the light comes on for a few seconds automatically. However, there is no escaping the fact that the OLED display on the Terric is vastly brighter both in watch and dive mode. The downside to this technology is that it eats battery power. So while the Garmin did a full week without needing to see its charging cable, I was putting the Terric on charge every other night. So there are pros and cons. The Terric is undoubtedly brighter but requires more regular charging. The Garmin is nowhere near as bright but still easy to read, and it can go a good week or so before needing a charge. On the subject of charging, the Terric sits in a cradle, and recently it's become a bit of a chore getting it to sit in just the right position that it will charge. It could be that my cradle is on its way out. It used to just begin charging as soon as I sat the watch in it, so that could be the issue. But the Garmin method of charge with a clamp system onto the charging point on the back of the watch is solid and secure. Where the Descent wins hands down is with all the other features it contains within its felt body. I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of each, but suffice to say, if you're an active person, the Garmin has you covered. Being based on the tried and tested Fenix 6, it has functions for running, biking, hiking, golf, swimming, both pool and open water, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, boating, triathlon, yoga, even jump master for those who like leaping out of planes. It monitors your heart rate and your blood oxygen level when it's directly on your wrist, calories burned, the list goes on. And as a smartwatch, you also get your phone messages on the screen, can even handle your music choices, either from your phone or even stored in the unit itself. I've been playing with it since it arrived, and I still haven't got to grips with all the functionality yet. Wherever you are in the world, the price point of the Descent is high. There's no getting away from that. But when you consider it's only a few £100s or dollars more than the Terric, but adds all the functions of a smart fitness watch into the mix, that price tag doesn't look so bad. If you bought a top-of-the-line wristwatch dive computer and a smartwatch, you'd spend more combined than you would on the Descent MK2i. And I think this is going to be the clincher for many people. If you are an active person who does other sports and you want a wristwatch that can handle a plethora of your activities, including diving, then the Descent MK2i is the logical choice. The Shearwater Terric is an excellent dive computer, and people will still buy it for that famed Shearwater build quality, usability and that mega bright screen, and not be bothered by the regular charging needed. But I think that Garmin have delivered in the Descent MK2i a top flight all-rounder that satisfies many requirements in one unit. And if it comes up in the bar on an evening whose dive computer has the most features, you will win hands down. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring that bell so you can get notification for all our new videos. As always, if you're going diving in the coming days, enjoy. Stay safe.